Tourists standing on top of the Great Pyramid, 1920s. Hillary Clinton on her wedding day, 1975. Amid the wreckage at the Pentagon after the September 11 attacks, one symbol stood unscathed, the Marine Corps flag, hanging steady in a devastated office. A Disney animator copies his character's facial expression. Members from the Isfahan girls volleyball team in the city of Isfahan, Pahlavi-era imperial state of Iran, see October 2nd, 1971. Church on Wheels based on a Ford T, United States, 1922. Alyssa Milano in the 1990s. Russian soldiers resting in Grozny, Chechnya, towards the end of the Second Chechen War, as the city was reduced to rubble, February 2000. A priest marries a couple in a church destroyed by German bombing, London, 1941. British-occupied Constantinople, 1919. Performing a swan dive, 1931. Benito Mussolini inspecting Italian troops, 1940. Biker Babes and Harley Davidson. In 1933, Harley Davidson designers created a one-year-only paint job, which arguably was the best to ever come out of Milwaukee in 1933. Children take part in the national final of the French Cross-Country Cup, organized to familiarize young people with traffic rules in 1959 on the Champ de Mars in Paris. Gloria Graham, 1947. Street photographer, Warsaw, 1946. January 30th, 1972. Derry, Northern Ireland. Portraits of those killed during the march that took place the day after Bloody Sunday. A visitor with a candle in her hand smiles at the large collection of skulls in the catacombs of Paris, 1935. (1855) United States Capitol dome under construction. Nazi officers and female auxiliaries enjoying their downtime at Auschwitz, 1944. Randolph Scott and Cary Grant in their Santa Monica, referred to as Bachelor Hall. They lived together for around 10 years, sharing their first home in 1932. Four surfers with homemade boards in Cornwall, 1921. Mariah Carey, and then boyfriend Derek Jeter back in 1998. (1953) press photo of stuntman Tom Steele picking up his paycheck at Hollywood, California. Princess Victoria Louise of Prussia in the uniform of the Life Hussars Cavalry Regiment. Number 2, Empress Friedrich, on the occasion of the handover of command of the regiment to the Princess, circa October 1909. Indianapolis, Indiana, 1965. Charles W. Oldreeve's tricycle, circa 1882. Behind the Scenes, Back to the Future, Part 2, 1989. Markings for concentration camp prisoners. Photo taken at the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum, 1941 to 1945. Private John G. Winbury hugging his 2-year-old son Robert just before sailing to Hawaii with the 251st Coast Artillery California National Guard, October 31, 1940, in Los Angeles, California, United States. American suffragist Mabel Vernon marches to the White House carrying a banner which reads, "Mr. President, what will you do for women's suffrage? Washington, D.C., circa 1917. A United States Navy communications specialist during Ronald Reagan's inauguration ceremony, 1981. Kent State University during a demonstration against the Vietnam War, May 4, 1970. Exhibition Alternative Fashion, Before the Gloss, 1985 to 1995, Moscow. On August 28, 1945, Communist leader Mao Zedong toasted nationalist leader Chiang Kai-shek. There's no such thing as too much light. This Renault has 11 headlights, 1926. Sigmund Freud with his mother Amalia, 1926. Elizabeth Taylor and Montgomery Clift in 1950 during a break in filming A Place in the Sun. Sinking of U-625 by a Canadian Sunderland on March 10, 1944. All 53 crew were lost. Winston Churchill notably had these photos displayed in his office. 1930. A newborn Princess Margaret with her mother, the Duchess of York, later the Queen Mother. A Chechen man prays during the Battle of Grozny. The flame in the background is coming from a gas pipeline which was hit by shrapnel, January 1995. (1938) New York, New Year's Eve in Times Square. Jefferson and Allen Avenues in photographic views of the Great Cyclone at St. Louis, May 27, 1896. Chuck Norris with his first wife Diane and their sons in 1975. Japanese women hold a demonstration to protest low wages paid to female factory workers around 1918. RAF and Luftwaffe fighters dogfighting above St. Paul's Cathedral during the London Blitz 1940. Lou Gehrig's Luckiest Man speech at Yankee Stadium, July 4, 1939. (1920) Men pour out alcohol due to prohibition. Ava Gardner studio portrait, 1953. Two martial art legends, 1970s. Photograph of Ernest Hemingway at the Finca Vigia in 1952, posing in front of Waldo Pierce's oil portrait of the author in 1929. Whirling Horse, a Sioux Native American man. Hippies outside the Apple Boutique on Baker Street, London, circa 1967. Security forces lift a Citroën 2CV from a canal in Amsterdam, 1961. Madonna's initial style before she became a global phenomenon. Photographed by Richard Corman with a group of local kids in the Alphabet City neighborhood of New York City's Lower East Side, 1982. 1888. Executive Committee members of the International Council of Women. Malcolm X holding an M1 carbine after receiving numerous death threats in 1964. Huge formation of American planes over USS Missouri and Tokyo Bay, celebrating the signing, 2 September 1945. Traitor. A retired colonel shouts to one of the demonstrators who demanded an end to communism, 1990, Red Square, Moscow. Motorized surfboard, 1948. Grand Review of the Armies, Washington, D.C., 1865. Red Army officers accept the surrender of the garrison in Allenstein, 1945. World War I mobilization in Berlin, August 1st, 1914. Two officers putting up a poster announcing decree in Tiergarten while German boys watch. Unusual truck design, 1925. Ramallah woman in traditional thobe under a fig tree, Ramallah, Palestine, 1920s. Great Ohio River flood, Louisville, Kentucky, 1937. Intricate marble carvings inside the Luna Vasahi Temple, part of the renowned Dilwara temples in Mount Abu, photographed circa 1948. Clearing rubble, Germany, 1950s. Riot police waiting behind rock barricade, Paris, 1968. French officers and soldiers with local residents at a grape harvest festival in Alsace, 1939. A couple concentrates on dancing the night away at a disco in 1965 New York. Lynn Frederick, 1970. Girl with very long hair, 1890s. Leicester goalkeeper Gordon Banks dives to catch a dog in a game against Manchester United, 1965. (1941) Kappa Sigma Epsilon fraternity members toss blankets out the window of their house in preparation for a spring blanket party under the stars at Kansas State Teachers College. Women playing Uta Garuta, a card game where players compete to identify and grab cards based on recited poetry. It is played mostly on Japanese New Year 1900. Debbie Reynolds, 1950. There is an island that was contaminated heavily by anthrax during World War II from large shipments around 200 tons. The island has earned the nickname Anthrax Island Photo from 1986. Jane Mansfield at her home in Los Angeles, California, the Pink Palace, 1958. Persian women and one man among them. Persia in the 19th century. An Ottoman lady lay with her head resting on the tombstone of her daughter Fatma, who had passed away 3 years earlier at the tender age of 19 while still in postpartum confinement. Istanbul, 1880. Female members of the Haganah paramilitary organization practice shooting with British-made Sten rifles, 1948. Women's football team at the London Munitions Factory, 1914. Turkish soldiers return home after the Korean War, 1950s. Borshali Tatars Caucasus, 20th century. Shepherds from Gascony used stilts to help them walk across marshy terrain. France, 1895. Girls in racy fringe ensembles show off their moves at the Disc Au Go Go in 1965, New York City. The chief of the Yakima Indian Tribal Council visits his son, who was in training with an Army armored unit at Yakima Firing Center, Washington, United States, 1954. 1826, Nicephore Niepce took the oldest surviving photograph in the world. Joan Collins in a publicity still for Land of the Pharaohs, 1955. Jewish Berber woman, Morocco, 1930s. Children having military parade in street in Tarrytown, New York, 1944. Hair done by Philip Mason, 1965. Photo by Richard Blinkoff. A trigger-activated photo revolver, 1938. King George V's uniformed portrait, which he included in the Christmas letter sent to the British Armed Forces during World War I in Christmas 1914. The famous Brazilian bandit, Lampião, 1936. Patients at an Ohio State Psychiatric Hospital, 1946. Jane Russell, 1940s. (1887) Construction of St. Paul, Minneapolis, and Manitoba Railway. British suffragette Emmeline Pankhurst addressing crowd on Wall Street, New York City in 1911. Marilyn Monroe getting some makeup between shots of 7-Year Itch, 1954, Kodachrome shot. Shannon Doherty, 1990s. Gilda Radner and Bill Murray, 1978 at Studio 54, I Love New York, Valentine's Ball. The Girl Who Kissed 10,000 Soldiers to Boost Their Morale, United States, 1941 to 1942. A dove suddenly landed on Robert Plant's hand while he was performing with Led Zeppelin in 1973. The Hyatt Regency Kansas City walkway collapse on July 17, 1981. 2 walkways in the hotel's atrium collapsed onto people attending a 1940s-themed dance party. Women sitting on Umbrella Rock, 1900. "90-year-old Sir Winston Churchill with his wife Clementine at the window of their Hyde Park Gate home in London on his birthday, November 30th, 1964, as crowds gathered outside to celebrate." Gdynia, December 17, 1970. Shipyard workers in Gdynia carry the body of Zbigniew Godlewski, who was shot during a strike, on a door removed from its hinges. Martial law, May 3, 1982. Warsaw, ZOMO units disperse protesters. A grave of German soldiers north of Tomarovka in the occupied Kursk region, 1943. One of the first intifadas, the Jabalia refugee camp, North Gaza, 1987. Tight slacks and snug evening gowns show the range of costumes worn by twisters in 1961 New York. Punk movement, 1970s. Flooding along the Peoria riverfront in May 1970. Barricades of 1991, Riga. The events of January 1991 are among the key events in the history of Latvia's restoration of national independence. On January 13th, at the call of the Popular Front, thousands of residents took to the streets of Riga. 3 punk girls from the 1980s. Daredevil pole climber circa 1915. Carol Channing behind the soda machine at a movie theater refreshment stand in the 1980s. The pavilions of Nazi Germany left and the Soviet Union right stand opposite each other at the 1937 Paris World Exposition. A Palestinian woman in a traditional bridal outfit with embroidered cloth and veil. Ramallah, Palestine. Photographed by American colony photographers, 1940. Future comedian Norm MacDonald as a young adult living in Ontario, 1970s. A Belgian engineering lieutenant poses in front of the aerial bombs he invented, 1918. Caroline Munro in the set of the film The Golden Voyage of Sinbad doing costume test, 1973.